Hello to the YouTube fans. Despite contrary belief, I'm back. I want to start off with my own review of Suicide Squad because I think it's past due. So, it's interesting. We started off with this movie being extremely terrible. Now we're moving into the journey of this movie is actually pretty good. And now everyone's extremely confused because they don't know if it's good or bad. And if you watch it in theaters or if you watched it in theaters, it's awful. There's no way we can go behind that. It is awful. I mean, it was not edited properly. They were right about that. David Ayer didn't even know what was being produced. He thought he had edited his version. But it's not just him. Jared Leto was wrong as well. Jared Leto really thought that he was part of the movie. He wasn't. He was there for Harley Quinn's origin story. Which is fine. I mean, there's no problem with that. I mean, there is for him, because he thought that he was really more part of the movie, and he wasn't. So, he's a bit disappointed. But I think he's gotten over that. I hope. He apparently posted something on Twitter that was relating to the Killing Joke and something else. But what's interesting about Jared Leto's performance is he's actually been more of the comic book character than anyone has ever portrayed the Joker as. So that's actually pretty cool. So, like, Jack Nicholson was being himself. Cesar Romero was a bit, I guess, behind his time because Batman wasn't really known back then. I mean, Batman was still the campy Batman, Adam West. Everyone knew Adam West. There was a movie, they thanked the criminals. Like, we couldn't do that now. We couldn't thank the criminals. We would probably be sued. Or Warner Brothers would have a panic attack, which would be extremely funny. But, anyway, so Jack Nicholson nailed it in his own way. Michael Keaton made Batman a human, which was pretty cool. After that, we move into the Dark Knight series, which I'm not finished, but I can still give you my Suicide Squad review. And then we have, Bruce Wayne, more human than Michael Keaton was, because Michael Keaton's Batman wanted to be Batman. So much so that he, there's a song by Prince, it's like Vicky Waiting. I mean, it's true. I mean, he does reveal his identity to her, but Batman was like every other superhero or every other hero. They never get really the girl. I mean, James Bond, Jason Bourne, but again, the book series was so different than the movies. But anyway, the point is the single man became extremely popular, and therefore they would never settle down. Which is exactly what the comic books did, because if they settled down, they wouldn't be their characters anymore. So that's what we had. But with The Dark Knight, it was very different. Christopher Nolan wrapped up Batman into a military camp, like he was a soldier, or was a past soldier, or was trained as a soldier for the League of Shadows. I don't know if any of this is true with Ra's al Ghul, but it's really different. And it's more correct to the politics of the time, because, I don't really care about what the politics were back then, but, like, danger was hitting this world, and so it made perfect sense for Batman to be dangerous and unpredictable, like the Joker, actually. And it's interesting that he's compared to the Joker by the end of the movie of Batman Begins, which to me would probably be the best one. I mean, A Dark Knight is awesome. You can't disagree about that. But the thing is, it really shows Heath Ledger's colors. It doesn't really show Batman's true colors. And Batman's true colors are in Batman Begins, because it shows that he's really trying to protect the city, and all these criminals are trying to uproot his job. And so that's The Dark Knight. And then we move on, obviously, to, Mark Hamill's Joker was not really a Joker. He was just a voice. Like, yeah, we got him on the video games. Yeah, we got him on the cartoon show. But, like, he wasn't really a Joker. I mean, I don't even know if he dressed up as the Joker for shits and giggles. I mean, that would be what the Joker would do. Anyway, so Mark Hamill was just a voice. And then we get into Jared Leto, who has been probably the youngest Joker ever since Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger's 27. I don't know how old Jared Leto is. It doesn't really matter. The point is, he brought something different to the screen. He argued with David Ayer about getting his face cut like Heath Ledger. David Ayer said no, which is extremely smart, because if you did that, then you're saying you're the next Heath Ledger, which Warner Brothers would have a field day for. They already did have a field day, but for a very different reason. So Suicide Squad made it its own characters, and it made sense. I mean, yes, these people are going against their will because they have a bomb in their necks. So, I mean, Harley is only fighting because she doesn't want to die. Boomerang's only fighting because he doesn't want to die. All the rest of the cast are fighting because they don't want to die. The Joker is just the Joker, but we don't really get to see the Joker as the Joker. We just see the Joker in Harley's story, and then we see him in various clips because he's trying to save her from Belle Rev. And he's extremely smart because even though he delays so long to save her, he does in the end. And as somebody said, who it doesn't, what was his name, Rockstar something, I don't really care. The point is, he said the same thing. He was like, yeah, well, you know, he's trying to bust her out of prison, and he does it his own way. I don't know where I was going with this. Damn it. Shit. I don't want to redo this. Anyway, he is just being the Joker, and he's having so much fun doing it. And Jared Leto even said he had so much fun doing it, but that's not what it was. Anyway, the point is, Harley really is the show. Oh, right. So it's like watching a TV show, kind of. Like, you're seeing the pilot, you're seeing the episodes, and then we got the finale at the end. And he says it's filmed very differently compared to other superhero movies. It doesn't follow the same plot line, which is actually pretty good. I mean, halfway through the movie, we receive the problem. I mean, it's like with writing a book. You know, you start with the beginning, the middle, the end. The climax is in the middle of the story, and then the end. I mean, the climax is really far into the film, and usually it's like hero, problem, solution. Except in this, it's like problem. Actually, no, it's just, here are the characters, here's the problem. We never really get to the solution except when it ends, when the film is over. And if you watch the cut version, it's awful. I mean, you get very little of Jared Leto, less than what you actually would get if you watch the full film. And he just shows off that he's actually a brilliant method actor. I mean, there's a line where he talks about being, you know, an idea. That's amazing. No one's ever done that. No one, I mean, there's apparently a comic book where the Joker knows that he's in a comic book, like Deadpool. So, like, I mean, the Joker came first, but Deadpool is Marvel's Joker. You can't disagree with that. Even Ryan Reynolds agrees with that. He shows a little Easter egg if you watch him drawing the, yeah, I want to shoot. I don't need to sing this song. But the point is, he's drawing Deadpool holding Harley Quinn's guns with the cork in them. That's her symbolic gun. So, like, it's like Ryan Reynolds wanted Suicide Squad to do well too, or he was just having fun. It doesn't matter. The point is, Suicide Squad is an amazing film if you give it a chance. I mean, every song was chosen by the actors. Like, Will Smith gets Black Skinhead, which is a stupidly written song, but it's still pretty dope. Harley Quinn or Margot Robbie gets You Don't Own Me. There's two versions of it, which is interesting. The one that she chose is like, oh, sort of poppy and you don't own me, kind of hypnotizing. Jared Leto's song was I Started a Joke, but it's a very scary version of the Bee Gees version. But I think he also might have chosen, or Harley, or Margot and Jared chose together, I don't know. But at the end of the movie, we've got Bohemian Rhapsody, which some people don't like. They don't like that the music is like this, but it's perfectly executed. Like, you know, oh, fuck, I have to think of the song. Oh, damn it. I can't even think right now. All right, let's just play it. Who cares? I'm going to get sued for this anyway. Oh, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, here's the big, okay.
Oh yeah. Right. And so he goes, "Mama, you just killed a man," and then the doors burst open and the Joker's there and he saves Harley. It's actually it's pretty incredible. And what's also interesting is the Joker and Harley are in maybe a toxic relationship, but it's still a love relationship. And there's one reviewer who talked about how the movie's all about love and the different ways of love. Like you've got Diablo, who's just giving up on his power, is giving up on his power because he killed his family. Like he did what Lee did in Manchester by the Sea, except Lee literally burned his house, well, by accident, and Lee burned his house by accident. Diablo basically deliberately burned his house because he's the fire god. So, like, that was interesting. And Harley's little spat with Diablo when he's talking about his sob story. I mean, Margot Robbie did not want to say the line when she goes like, "Own that shit. Own it!" What? Do you expect we could just become normal? Normal is a button on the dryer, setting on the dryer. People like us don't get normal. It's like, but that's Harley. I mean, she really embedded the character. I mean, Harley is angry. Read the comic books. She wants to be with the Joker more than anybody else, and yet the Joker is an asshole. He's a terrible person. Even in the movie, he's trying to kill her. No one really realizes this, but like, there's a helicopter that shoots the other helicopter down. That's the Joker trying to get rid of his life, basically. He doesn't need it. She's in his way. He doesn't need to save her. He doesn't need to almost kill himself to save her. He doesn't kill himself. But the thing is, he could have. There's so many scenes that were cut. There's a grenade scene, which basically means how the hell did the Joker survive that? There's even a pop figure with, like, the black part of his face. I mean, the grenade went off. What, did he lose a chunk of his face as well? Like, that's amazing. There's a scene where he fights Batman. He gets his teeth knocked out. I mean, watch the video games. You can basically do like a Batman beatdown on the Joker, and his teeth don't fly out. Like, that's completely unrealistic. Completely. And there's like a picture I found. I can't find it anymore. But he's like, his mouth is bleeding. He's got his hand, obviously, in the comic book picture, he's got the mouth. But by that point, he wouldn't have had the mouth. And you just laugh, like probably laughing at Batman because he's crazy. He's absolutely insane. And it makes perfect sense that Harley would be angry that she doesn't have a normal life. It goes with her character so, I don't know the next word. It's impressive, actually. I mean, these are probably the closest to the comic book characters you could get. I mean, if you read Mad Love or watch the episode in the Batman Adventure series, you'll see that, you know, Harley wants to marry the Joker. She wants to have a kid. She's got little Joker babies running around. Like, that's her dream, and she doesn't get it. She doesn't get it because that's not who the Joker is. And you even see Jared Leto with, like, a shaved face, nice suit, smiling, like, you know, pleasantly, not like the rictus grin, which the Suicide Squad novel mentions. Like, she never got normal, so it makes perfect sense that she would snap at Diablo, because in a way, Harley has more of a chance of getting a normal life than Diablo does, because Diablo's never probably going to find another woman, even if he wanted to, because he just doesn't believe in himself that way. Now, by the end of the movie, he's dead. So, I guess in some way, he gets to go to heaven, or his heaven, which I would have to research. You got Boomerang, who is just a clown. Like, not literally a clown, but he is a clown. Like, he's the fool of the Suicide Squad. Like, he has got Katana with a knife to his throat, and he's like, "Oh, you got a girlfriend?" That's the wrong time to say that. But Katana's mission isn't to kill. And Katana's actually like an actual hero. She's not according to what I've seen in the movie, she's not a villain. I mean, Harley's a villain, Boomerang's a villain, Boomerang robs banks, Harley's just Harley, Deadshot kills people, like, with one shot, he's a hitman, Killer Croc is just another entity. I mean, that's just, that actor even, he nailed that, too. And, like, Harley talks about how he's, you know, she says we're all ugly. Oh, yeah, right. Boomerang's angry. He's like, why is it always that when you open your mouth, it's a knife fight. It's like, outside, you're amazing. But inside, you're ugly. And she's like, we all are. And then she looks at Killer Croc. It's like, except for him. He's ugly on the outside, too. He's like, not me. I'm beautiful. And then she goes, yeah, you are. Like, as if Harley just knows more than everybody else does. And that's exactly what the Joker does. He thinks he's so smart. But he actually is really smart. And so is Harley. Like, the two together it's perfect. And we've never had, on screen, a relationship with Harley basically sticking with the Joker. I mean, except in the cartoon series, which is very different because Harley's always being smacked around. And, I mean, she gets smacked around in the film, too, but, like, the Joker tries to kill her and then gives up because he can't. Which is basically love. You can't kill love. You'd have to kill yourself to kill love, you know? And even then, if you believe in heaven and all that stuff, there's still love in the clouds. I don't really know what kind of review this is. But anyway, Suicide Squad is a good movie. See the full film. I will not tell you how to because I will probably be sued. And this is video recorded. So next we will be recording the next chapter of the book because I know at least one fan wants me to read it, and I've been really neglecting it because of my sore throat and anger issues. So bye.